we are going to go ahead and take a quick look at Book Creator. This was something that was shown at the Metro Tech Camp, and we're just going to go ahead and do a quick overview of it and what it's capable of. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click sign in. When I do that, it brings me into my library. Signing up is a pretty simple process. And one of the things is that I have a couple of different options here. I have my books, and then I can also create libraries. So I've already created one, Horizon Media Library, and it's pretty easy to do. You just click create a new library. And one of the things that I can do is I can share this code with students and they'll be able to access the same library. So you can control several settings with here, including whether or not students have the ability to see each other's books, as well as controlling how many students can join. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by creating a new book, which opens up some options. These and these are pretty much identical. The only difference is these are comic books, so I'll show you that in a second. When I go through and open up a book, I can import images. What I can do is do a Google search in here, or I can look at files on my Google Drive. The one thing to keep in mind, actually, let's choose a little bit more commercial image. The one thing to keep in mind is that the images that you would get on a normal Google image search versus the images that you get in here are going to be different. The reason why is that if it's copyright protected, it is taken out of this search. So one of the things you might want your students to do if they're using something that's heavily copyrighted is to save image into their Google Drive and then bring it in using the Google Drive right here. All right, you can select multiple pictures, and then when you have what you think you want, you just go ahead and click select, and it pulls the images straight in. Now it looks like I've only imported one image, but I've actually imported multiple. They're just all stacked one behind the other. And as you can see, I have quite a few options when it comes to moving around and adjusting image size. I'm going to go ahead and turn the page. The other thing that I can go ahead and do is I can use the camera. I'm not actually going to click on this. I've tried to a couple of times. And what happens is because the app I'm using to record this right now, when I click on this, freezes everything up. So, but you can actually take video and import it straight into here, as well as pictures. But we're going to go ahead and skip straight down to the pen. This is a pretty simple tool. You can control the thickness of your line. So you can have it really thick or fairly thin. You can control your color, and you have an erase tool as well. When you click done, it simply takes the picture and imports it straight in. All the lines are connected to each other as a single image. Pretty simple stuff. The other thing that you can do is you can do text. You can type it in. And you also have options like bolding, italicizing, underlining, and linking. The other thing that you can do is you can do text to type. And when you click stop, it quits doing that. So some useful and pretty quick options. You can also do a voice recording. I'm once again not really going to do anything with that because I'm afraid it will disrupt the recording of this video. But you can do recordings and put them on here. So ideally what you could do is have a student write a book, then read the book out loud, and other students could hear them reading. All right. You can also change page backgrounds as well. And you can insert shapes that you can also go through and change the color on them. There's a couple of other options too. You can give them a shadow, you can give them a border, and you can make that border as thick or as thin as you want it to be. All right. Now, let's take a quick look at the comic options. So when you open up a new book and you pick the comic option instead, what you're able to do is you're able to insert panels. And you can click an image, and when you select the image, it pops it and locks it straight into the panel. So you're able to create comic books. You also have speech and thought bubbles, and your text can also have some sound effects on it too. Other than that, most of the tool sets are the same. You can also go through and combine books. So if you click on this option right here, and click Combine Books, you simply can select the books you want to combine, click Next, and click Create Book. Now this would be useful for somebody who's doing, let's say, a science project on biomes, and each student has to create a different page regarding a biome on it. You could go ahead and combine the final products together. When I click Pages, I can see all the individual pages, and I can rearrange them how I want them. So it would be a fairly useful way to get students to collaborate together. You can also import books, so a student can get one in there. You can move it to a library, so your students could create it in their own account and move it to a library, copy it, and you can download these books as well. So download as ebook, publish online, collaborate means you can invite somebody else to work on it with you, or print. Now, other thing you can do is you can join other people's libraries. So join with code. So this actually is a pretty important feature right here. So if you use the free version of this, you will get a set number of 40 books. But if each teacher in a pod goes ahead, creates an account, and the students who are in their ILTs join, you would have more than enough books for every student to have their own. Let's say you finished a project and you don't want to delete it, but you don't need to work on it anymore. What you can do is you can click on here and you can click Archive. And when you archive a library, what it does is it goes through and stores it, hides it away, and you get a new 40 books that you can use. You can also restore that library at any given point. So that library becomes active again. So it would allow you to juggle those 40 books pretty effectively, and you're not losing any of your material. All right, that's it for Book Creator. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Bye.